And in terms of what is a modern female character, I think overall it's been discussing basically what makes a three-dimensional, authentic character. A modern female character is not just, a gun-toting, emotionless, cold killer. Who is she as a person? What defines her? What makes her flawed? What are her strengths? What are her weaknesses? I think most times a lot of female characters are only one thing, and the problem is that we haven't seen many female characters have more layers than just a simple plot of them having to go and enact revenge on somebody that hurt them. I think for me, a modern female character is somebody who is three-dimensional. Someone whose strength is not just defined by the fact that they can hold a gun and therefore that means that they're badass. What are the other elements that make her strong that isn't physical? What is her intelligence? What are her skill sets? That to me is what modern female character looks like. And again, as I referenced, Wonder Woman, is a great example of that. And I think something I also wanted just to highlight is, a lot of times mentioning like Wonder Woman or superheroes or things like that, I think people think about as well, that's IP, that's, specifically comics, how is that the same as writing, a female character that is not based on an existing IP? And the interesting thing to that is that there actually hasn't been many original female characters in that space, which is something I think more and more people have to start writing those kind of movies. And Wonder Woman is just a great example because I think finally take away the fact that she's based on a comic book, just look at her as a character. And she very much represented the complex character that makes her fully fleshed out, that makes her feel like a woman in a male genre. It's something that when I watched that movie for the first time, I actually felt like I saw, a female heroine that really felt like a woman, in this male genre, and I got emotional. And I remember watching those fight action sequences where you're watching these women, her beautiful, elegantly fight, and it's feminine, but it's strong, and you're watching kind of this beautiful combination that you really haven't seen displayed on screen. When you're seeing fight sequences, it's always very brute, it's very hard, it's very male, and when women are in those action sequences, you're seeing a lot of them do that same thing. You look at Salt, look at basically every role that Angelina Jolie has done, it very much feels like she is exuding that kind of same action that we would see in male movies. But with Wonder Woman, you finally saw an action sequence that had a lot of the very similar male action that you see. However, it felt feminine. It felt elegant. It felt like it's actually women fighting than it is men fighting. And I think that was a great, great example of how you're continuing to look at those examples and shaping female characters in these male genre spaces that feel female.